Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And I'm joining you guys today. I'm trying to get the beach because it's such a beautiful day and it's winter here in Australia, but it's just such a beautiful summery day. So I wanted to make sure to make the most of it. And today's message has actually been inspired by an amazing friend and client of mine who I was having a conversation with this morning, and it was all around judgment. And as we were sort of talking through some stuff that was going on in their life, ultimately it got me thinking, and ultimately it got me sort of talking out this whole concept and idea behind the fact that judging yourself for judging others only leads to false acceptance. And this was kind of like a combination of what he was talking about, what I was talking about, and I just sort of found this way, I felt like this would be a really valuable message to bring to you guys and sort of have a chat around, because so many of us out there, we have beautiful intention, and we have this beautiful intention of wanting to drop the judgment of others and ultimately love others for who they are and, see the best in them. And that's a beautiful idea and belief to sort of want to move towards, sort of state of being that you want to move towards. But what I've sort of uncovered, particularly for myself over this last couple of days, sorry, this is really crooked or something, over this last couple of days, particularly for me in my life, I found myself judging another person and feeling like I was actually disempowering myself, because I was sort of placing my ideas around the depth of connection that we could have. I was blaming them in my judgment. So I was judging them for being closed-minded, for not being open-minded, for not accepting others, and in turn I was not accepting them for who they were, and I was judging them. And when we're in it, it's kind of hard to take the lesson. But if we are people who are looking to grow and develop, and we can notice when we're feeling disempowered, when we're feeling like we're putting all of this power into somebody else, and they do this and it prevents me from having freedom to be the way that I want to be, or they always do this and I would never do that. When we get caught up in that, we can notice within our bodies that we lose energy. It is a massive energy drain when we're judging others, and that's why we can get sort of caught up in this idea of, never wanting to judge others. And it comes from this great place. But what I want to say to you, and what sort of popped into my mind as I was having this coaching session this morning, was ultimately that I've come to discover very recently that it is our judgments that give us so much value. And I want to say to all of us out there that your judgments hold so much gold that you don't want to be rid of them. And the longer you judge yourself for judging others, the longer you go on in this really disempowered state of being, and you keep beating up on yourself with this expectation that you're not necessarily going to be completely able to live up to. And also you're missing all the value that your judgments provide you with. So I really do believe that every single one of our judgments that we have for another is everything that's going on for ourselves. I like to say that the way another makes us feel is exactly how they are feeling within themselves at that moment. And it is really good to sort of meditate on that fact, right? And to think of, any judgments that we have towards others, particularly when we feel like they are taking away our freedom. There is so much power in identifying exactly, precisely what the judgment is that we have on that other person and doing the turnarounds on it. And that's why I'm always bringing to you guys the work of Byron Katie. If you haven't come across her work before, and you are somebody who's finding yourself really feeling disempowered, like you're judging somebody in your life, you're feeling like they do this thing that prevents you from showing up in the way that you want to show up, then ultimately I encourage you to go to thework.com, which is Byron Katie's site, and she has free resources on there, process that she takes you through, which actually allows you to identify the actual judgment that you're placing on another and meditate around it. Get into inquiry around the judgment that you have, and ultimately shift into an empowered state and take the lesson with you. I like to believe that it is our judgments that alert us to the parts of ourselves that we are currently disowning, and we cannot get to that state of love and being able to love others exactly for who they are and as they are unless we are able to identify the judgments we have within ourselves and overcome them, own our own judgments on ourselves, and shift out of that, because that is ultimately what puts up that wall and creates a sense of false acceptance and false approval, and that is not where we want to get to. Ultimately, where we really want to get to is unconditional acceptance, unconditional love for ourselves and for others, and it starts with you owning all of the value that you can take from the judgments that you have on others, rather than judging yourself for judging others. So I hope that this is today's message is resonating with you guys. I'm having a hard time with the sun today, but I really hope that today's message is resonating. It's getting you thinking. It's getting you thinking about whether you're judging yourself or judging others, and you're missing all the value, all the gold, and all the lessons that are available to you in those judgments, in those disempowered states. How can you utilize that to build better self-awareness and higher levels of self-acceptance, so that you can ultimately, get to a place of true unconditional acceptance and love for the self and for others. So guys, let me check in with you. I really want to see who's been able to join me today. And Mark, awesome to have you. And Bobby and Hassani's back. I love it. And Audrey, yes, it is so gorgeous here. The whales, they're not out here at the moment, so I'm sorry. I really wanted it to be a show, but I didn't want to miss the sunshine. So yes, it is Audrey, thank you. And Nick, awesome to have you. Yes, Victoria, so beautiful. And Jason, awesome to have you in the house. And Nick and Jamie, definitely, Jay, you should be here. And Mangesh, nice to see you too. And Carolina and Yvette and Chris and Ellen, more great words. Great. Grateful that you're finding encouragement here, Ellen. I love having you here. Brittany, nice to have you. And Misty, always love having you here. And Jody, yes, so true. People have judged me. Yes, and we can get so much value not only from the judgments that we place on others, but also on the judgments that we receive from others. That's there is so much value to be had. Even when people are being nasty or critical to us, I really use that as a massive growth tool. Like, how do I respond? How do I react? And is there some element of truth in what they are saying that I can take value from moving forward? So yeah, it's a great, that's why I want all of you, my perspective is welcome the judgment, because judgment is your pathway to self-discovery, higher levels of self-acceptance, and definitely compassion. So there's so much value, and I really want to pull all of you guys out there who have these best intentions of wanting to see the best in others, but you're judging yourself for having a human judgment on another person. Instead of judging yourself and then putting yourself in this pit of fear, I want you to utilize it for higher levels of self-awareness and therefore self-acceptance of the parts of yourself that you're currently disowning in yourself, and that's why they're showing up as judgments in others. Love having you here, Jody, and thanks, Emily. Weather looks amazing. Yeah, it's been so wet, cold, windy here down in Warrnambool. So today has just come as a beautiful surprise. So I wanted to get out here and soak up the sun. Sarah, awesome to have you, and Andrew and Mike and George and Brett and Ram and Tracy and Kamang. Awesome that this is resonating with you, Ram. Thank you. Maggie, love having you here, and Aaron and Frank and Kane and Leo and Craig, awesome to have you here. Yes, Ram, unconditional acceptance. It's just, that is what all of us are really striving for, but we tend to get caught up in what my friend and coaching client mentioned this morning, which I just thought was so awesome. And so I wanted to incorporate it in my message today, which is this concept of false acceptance. And what he was really talking into was his time in religion and how, he felt really loved and accepted when he was abiding by the rules, and ultimately came to the discovery that that is false acceptance. It's not true, it's not unconditional, and that ultimately has given him a drive to want to accept others fully, which is a beautiful state of being. But in order to get to that place, we need to stop judging ourselves for judging others and come to a place of true self-acceptance and unconditional self-acceptance. Love your comments there, Ram. Thanks, Misty. Glad this is resonating. Jeremy's in the house. I love it. And Andrea and Sharat and Bobby, so glad to have you here. And Ram, the way we accept ourselves, so do we accept others. Most definitely. And the quickest path to losing our conditional judgments and condemnation of others is by fully owning our own relationship with self. And the way that we can utilize and get to that place a lot quicker, a great place of unconditional self-acceptance, is to utilize and engage with the judgments that we place on others. Sometimes that is just a really good way of pinpointing the judgments that we actually have within ourselves. So thank you again for your comments there, Ram. And Caden, so awesome to have you back. And Romy, grateful that this is resonating with you. And Bobby, thank you so much for your kind words. Appreciate you so much. And definitely Jay. And same to you, Caden. So much love for you. And Misty, what we judge others for is probably something we need to fix within ourselves. Exactly, totally. And that's why I say mine your judgments for gold that they have. They have so much gold. There's so much value there. And the sooner we get over judging ourselves for judging others and actually focus on the judgment at hand and use that as our personal growth tool, wow, does life explode? Does our relationship and love and acceptance for ourselves and others explode? So definitely love that. And Jen, awesome to have you. I love that you love this message. And Salvatore, nice to have you. And Romy, it takes so personal cause. I try to always raise others. So when I personal attacked out, it hurts. Okay, making sense of the words there. So yes, so you're always trying to help raise others up, which is a beautiful state of being. And when you feel personally attacked, it hurts, right? It only hurts because, and again, this is another way that you can mine the judgments of yourself or others and the way that you feel about it, how triggered you are or hurt around that you are. You can mine that for the gold that it is providing you with for your self-awareness and moving towards unconditional self-acceptance. If it hurts, it's alerting you to the fact that you have some work to do within yourself, because the things that people are attacking you about, judging you about, are triggering your own judgments within yourself. And as soon as you start owning those parts of you that are getting judged by others, the sooner you aren't hurt by their behavior, you see their behavior for what it is, their own fears, their own insecurities, their own judgments of themselves, and then you are actually able to guide and help and support them. And like you're saying there, Romy, actually, raise them up by seeing that what they are saying and judging has absolutely nothing to do with you and everything to do with the judgments that they hold for themselves. And then you're able to meet those people with compassion and truly be of service to those people. So I hope that helps what I've just mentioned there, Romy. And Gabrielle, I love having you here. And Sarima and MD and Nitin, love to you. And Brian, I know you attend seminars. Have you ever met Byron Katie? The work is life-changing. Would love to hear you talk about it more. Awesome. Brian, I have not yet met Byron Katie. I was supposed to interview her a couple of months ago. The internet fell through, but I am actually interviewing her in about 2 weeks' time. I'm actually going to get to meet her in that regard, in terms of interviewing her for my podcast. and I would absolutely love to share more of her work. For any of you guys out there who have looked into Byron Katie's work, or you're going to, please make sure that you send me any questions that are on the tip of your tongue that you would love to ask her, and I will make sure that I ask her in the interview for you guys. I want you to get maximum value. She is just one of the most incredible human beings I've ever come across. Her work has supported and guided myself and my clients so beautifully, and I feel truly honored that I get to interview her in a couple of weeks from now. So definitely let me know any questions that you might have. And I appreciate Brian so much. I haven't been to one of her seminars. I'm definitely going though. You will see me there at some stage for sure. So thanks there, Brian. And Lizzie, nice to have you. And Amin and Rose. And yes, Hassani, false acceptance. Yes, definitely. Yeah, you can thank my beautiful friend and client for that concept around false acceptance. It just kind of hit me today. I thought it was just brilliant. So love that you're loving it too, Hassani. And Shane, awesome to have you as always. And Bobby, yes, I need to love and accept myself and not worry about other people's opinion. Yes, Bobby, and the sooner you utilize the judgments, the hurts, whatever you're placing on others, and you utilize that to shine the light on the parts of yourself that you're currently disowning, then the sooner you move towards a place of love and acceptance, and the sooner the opinions, judgments, criticisms, fears of others, they don't even affect you. You can actually bring compassion and see where people are at, and really, feel into that and give them what they need, rather than hit them with more fear, which only serves to keep you both stuck. So love that you're on that path, Bobby. And Aslan, thank you so much. I'm grateful that you're enjoying the message and the view today. And yes, Romy, maybe it hurts so bad when we're verbally attacked, knowing it's about them. I need to think of that when I think of judging. Yeah, so I'm also a big believer in always questioning poor behavior. It's never about accepting any poor behavior in your life from anybody in your life, but be wary of when you are questioning their intent. Once you start questioning their intent, if you think they're intentionally trying to hurt you and get you, that's when you can't be in relationship with them. You kill the relationship. So in order to be able to see through the behavior and trust people's intent, you got to do the work on you. And that's how you ultimately build that sturdy foundation of relationship with yourself, so that you can create extraordinary quality of relationship with others and get out of the mindless, egoic sort of way of being where we're trapped in those judgments and those hurts and those resentments. So love that, Romy. Appreciate your comments. Kaden, this is so good. Can't wait to see the beginning. Yes, only time we're hypocritical is while we're judging. And isn't it so funny? I've noticed myself, I had to have a laugh a couple of days ago when I noticed that I've been communicating with some people close to me of how disappointed I was in this other person in my life, how I felt like they were so close-minded that I couldn't create the depth of connection I wanted to in this relationship. And a couple of days later, I'm dealing with other people, and I'm seeing, it's so easy to see when you're not in it, of like, oh, they're so judgmental, these people are saying, and not recognizing that in that very moment they are being the same way, judging the other. And I laughed at myself just yesterday, because I came to that realization again in this scenario when I was judging this other person for being judgmental. And yeah, exactly what you're saying there, Kaden. So we can be so hypocritical when we're in it. Sometimes it takes getting outside of ourselves, doing some introspection at times, and also communicating with others and getting a third perspective that isn't triggered by the emotion, that alerts us to our states of being hypocritical. So I love that, Kaden. Thanks for sharing. And Caroline, awesome to have you. Definitely, Bobby, it's beautiful down here. And Helen and Peter, nice to have you. And Lewis. And Bobby, if I had the chance, I would want to visit Australia. It's a beautiful place. Bobby, whereabouts in the world are you from? Let me know, guys. I love hearing whereabouts in the world you're from. And Ishatak, nice of you to join. I'm grateful this is resonating, Caroline. Much love to you, Ishatak. And yes, Shane, I'm always so grateful when you can catch me live. Yeah, appreciate it so much. And Ram, false acceptance simply limits our potential. Boom, drop the mic, Ram, exactly. And Matt, awesome to have you. And Yuvan, thanks for joining me. You're so welcome, Romy. And Des and John, nice to have you. Bobby, I'm learning how to forgive others that have hurt me in the past. What a beautiful journey. I really honor you on that journey, Bobby, because the sooner you can forgive yourself for judging yourself based on their judgments, the sooner you're able to forgive them. So remember that everything stems from our relationship with self, and our only pathway to forgiveness is when we've fully forgiven ourselves for the judgments we've placed on ourselves. So love that, Bobby. And Gabrielle, I love your kind words. Thank you so much. You've made my day and touched my heart there. Bobby from California, love it. And Jake, nice of you to join. And Romy from Florida, I love it. I'm going to be in Florida in December. And Chase, nice to have you join me. So guys, I'm really hoping that today's message has served you. I hope that it has got you shifting your perspective, thinking about the judgments that you're holding on others, and not judging yourself for judging others, but instead mining those judgments for the gold that they can give you in terms of your own self-awareness and unconditional self-acceptance, so that you can shift away from false acceptance, which is just purely conditional. It's giving to get rather than giving from a place of love and a place of wanting to build others up, inclusive of yourself. So I love that. Thank you so much, Jan. And Bobby, every day is a learning process. I'm glad that I write a blog and I empower myself and I enjoy empowering women. Awesome, Bobby. I'd love to learn more about your work. Sounds fascinating, sounds awesome. And Ram, grateful this is resonating. And Matt, is it bad to have harsh judgments based on self-protection? Yeah, I mean, judgments are only coming from your fears, right? So the sooner we can recognize that all judgment comes from the ego, comes from our fear, not diminish it, actually recognize that it has a lot of value. It shines a lot of light on our own judgments for self. But what I would say to you, Matt, is that fighting fear with fear, so fighting, having your own harsh judgments based on being judged by others, that's fighting fear with fear. It only serves to magnify the fear in your life and take you further and further away from love and self-acceptance and unconditional acceptance and love of yourself and others. And ultimately, that's not really a life lived in harmony. It's not a life that any of us are really striving for. So what I would say to you is that there are way healthier ways of protecting ourselves from the fears of others, and it's never going to come from having harsh judgments on others. It's always going to come from building a solid relationship with yourself and losing the judgments of self, and ultimately creating a really healthy boundary so that you're not accepting people's poor behavior, but you are setting a standard of love and being able to see past behavior and trust intent. I hope that was helpful for you. And I really appreciate you being here, Matt, and for your questions. And Matthew, nice to have you. Shane, yes, keep it real, be true and honest, and get back to what you give. Definitely love your words of wisdom there, Shane. And Jared, what have you said to me here? I really struggle in forgiving myself when I know I have done wrong in the past. I try to forgive and move forward, but I seem to fall back into old cycles too easily because I can't forgive myself. What is the first step to forgiving the self? Wow, what a beautiful question, Jared, and I honor you for having your openness of sharing your experience here. It is something that so many of us struggle with, and ultimately, forgiving ourselves, I could do a whole new Facebook Live on this. In fact, I might do it for you guys. So can you let me know in the comments if you would like me to create a whole Facebook Live on forgiveness of the self? Let me know, but I want to give you a little bit of value here, Jared, and what I would say is that ultimately what we need to do, because we're feeling guilt, why we cannot let go of that forgiveness of self is because we're feeling guilt about how we've affected others in the past, about how we've shown up, and it's because we're only having a lopsided perception of the circumstance. So what I mean by that is we are focused on all the negative that we feel was generated from us behaving, saying whatever we did in the past, or taking no action, whatever we're not forgiving ourselves for, it's because we're focused on all the negative that it produced. But ultimately we need to rebalance our mindset, because at the end of the day, every negative has an equal positive and vice versa. So it's about balancing out our perceptions so that we can free ourselves from the guilt, from the shame, from the that lack of forgiveness that we're placing on ourselves. It's very deep work, and that's why I said, maybe I should do a training on it for you as a solo training. But guys, let me know, and I really hope that was of value to you, Jared. If you'd like some personal assistance with that, definitely book in a 15-minute power session with me. I will work with you individually, help shift your perspective and help you break through. So I'd love to meet you. So if that interests you, definitely do that. I'll drop a link after I sign off today. And so much appreciation for you there, Jared. Yes, Jan, love that this is resonating with you. And Bobby, it is great that men and women can work together to make the world a better place. Totally, Bobby. I love that you've brought that up. I'm a big believer in, seeing that men and women are completely equal, but we do bring different things to the table, and that's actually what creates such a mutual respect between men and women, or the masculine and the feminine. And we need both, and having that combination of the two definitely can make the world a better place. I love that you've just mentioned that, Bobby. And Caden, I feel like each of your videos is so full of gold that my satchel is never big enough the first time through. I always have to take a second trip. I love that, Caden. Thank you so much for lighting up my day yet again. You do it so regularly, and I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful. You guys who are getting value out of these messages, you are the reason why I do what I do. So I'm so appreciative to you. And it really does touch my heart when you let me know that things are valuable, or you give me some feedback as to what is valuable to you, because that's what I'm here to do. I just want to add maximum value in any way I can. So I rely on you to help me keep my finger on the button there. And thank you so much, Caden. I appreciate you. And Sean, thanks for joining. And Matt, so influencing positive rather than protecting from negative. Yes. Boom, exactly, Matt. You're getting it. You've got it. I honor you on this journey. I love that you're here. And Stephen and Max, awesome of you to join. And Bobby, I'm learning to move from the past and move forward and be real, even though it is difficult since we have. Yes, I want a segment of that, of forgiveness of self. Awesome. I will definitely do that for you guys. Keep letting me know what's valuable to you. If there's ever anything that I mention in one of my videos that you're like, yes, yeah, I want to learn more about that, definitely always tell me, because I do these every day for you guys, and yeah, I love getting your feedback and knowing what's valuable. Yeah, James, nice to have you. And Sava, and yes, Bobby and Max from Germany, I love it. And Aaron, nice of you to join. And Bobby, I'm glad to learn the positive energy from you, and it's important to balance the masculine and feminine energy, definitely. That's one of my absolute favorite topics. Again, let me know if you want me to talk more into masculine, feminine. It's such powerful stuff, not only in terms of our intimate relationships and way of being in the world, but also for our self-awareness and self-growth. It is balancing out our masculine and feminine so that we can be full, rounded out human beings is a great tool for self-development. Yes, I'm glad that you're liking that here, Shane. I'm sorry the whales aren't here. They've been around all morning, but who knows where they are right now. They'll probably come back as soon as I get off this live. But guys, that is it from me today. I have absolutely loved having you guys here, and for all of your engagement, your intelligent questions, your feedback, your kind words and your positivity and your like-mindedness. I'm so appreciative to each and every one of you. I am sending so much love, gratitude, my blessings, my energy and enthusiasm and everything brilliant coming at you guys today. I hope that you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. And Jan, thank you so much for sharing. That is such a beautiful gift that you can give to me, is sharing And yes, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, and see you guys tomorrow. Much love.